Hi, this is Kevin, your Director of Nursing. This is the first meeting that I'm doing on this YouTube video. So down at the bottom on this YouTube video, there's a spot for you to make comments. This is how you can get credit for doing this, watching this video. Just a reminder, there's a schedule, topics listed in the break room. November and December topics. Every month I'll do both a licensed nurse meeting, which is we're going to go over different things that are pertinent to working here at Country Crest, and then I'll also do in-services. I've got 2 different topics every month that I have to go over as directed by Sunmar, our parent corporation. So having said that, I just want to go into some stuff here. I'll make it real quick. Hey, when you guys are writing an order for a topical cream or a patch, please do not write in the order applied to affected area. It has to be over a specific spot. So if you are putting on a hydrocortisone cream, it needs to be to left knee, right knee, his lower back, upper back, something like that. And then it needs to match the care plan. The care plan will have resident has a skin condition on his lower back, right knee, left knee. Anyways, it's kind of important. And if you're doing a large area, you may want to specify to the pharmacy when sending this off to send a large amount because of the sheer square footage of the area that you got to cover may be more. So don't put on there to affected area. This includes lidocaine patches, Salonpas patches, these sorts of things. Also want to mention something while I'm on that topic is that lidocaine 4% is over the counter, but the 5% is not, and the 5% is usually not covered by their insurance. So when you're calling to get an order for lidocaine patches, it would be better if you just put down the 4% strength, because that's something that we can get over the counter. Next, fax machine. We got a new fax machine over there in the villa wing, and that fax machine works. So please fill it with paper periodically and check it to make sure that it has paper. This morning I checked it and it had no paper, but when I put paper in there, it printed up faxes that came for like the last 4 days. Some of those faxes were from Dr. Gerritsen, and they may have orders on them. So these are time-sensitive things that we need to get back from on our fax machine. Time and attendance. You know, our time clocks don't work very good. Many of you know that. Many of you don't even try to use a time clock anymore. I'm going to ask if you would please just try to use a time clock each and every day. It's preferred that you use the time clock. I don't want you to just skip over that and then just go fill out the TARF form. You know what? It's actually better to just use a time clock. Now, I spoke to one person that said that I'm not even going to try to use that time clock. It won't work for me. Well, that's actually the wrong attitude. I need you to at least try. So please use the time clock. Now, if the time clock didn't work and you're spending more than just a few minutes there, then go on ahead and fill out the TARF. But I need you to fill one out for each and every day that you work. Sometimes people forget, and they forget to fill out TARFs, and then when they don't get paid correctly, they're concerned that their paycheck was a little short. It's easier to reconcile the correct pay when you go to the time card book. You know, at the end of the pay period, Desiree will put out a book with all of your time sheets or your time work time on it. You need to look at that, sign it, and make sure that it's correct. Post. Make sure that if you're filling one of these out for one of the residents, that if you make a mistake on there, don't scratch it out, write error, and then put a corrected on there. It can never have any correction on there. You can't scribble something out. If you make a mistake on it, you have to just tear it up and go to get another one. Please, it's very important. If this is a legal document, and if at the time of a code, you're trying to guess whether they are or are not a full code just because something was scribbled out, this is life or death. So please be sure that you're not doing that. Recaps are due. So today is November 27th. We just have today, tomorrow, Sunday, and Monday before the end of the month. So over the next 3 days, I want you guys to please do your recaps. It's not that bad. It's really actually kind of easy. You just got to grab that person's chart and go to the beginning of the month, for this month, November, and look at all the orders that came up to make sure that they got put in correctly. You're going to need the new MAR binder and the old MAR binder, and you're going to make sure that they're both correct reading across. There are sometimes residents don't have very many orders, and that can actually go pretty quick for you. Other times they have a lot of new orders, and it may take a little time, and they need to be put in correctly. I just want you to know that our medical records person, Cynthia, she's the one that puts those in, and she's not a nurse. So by doing these recaps, this is a nurse's attestation that those orders were put in correctly, and that these are the medicines that resident is supposed to have based on what's in the chart in the doctor's order. So I don't want to find any more med errors that weren't found until the end of the month. Next thing I want to talk about is, we're talking about medications. If we got somebody who's going home, please don't reorder medicines. Try to be aware that, say for instance, the resident over on Cottage, the guy who's in room 120, is going home the end of next week. So don't wait until a day before he's going home and then reorder all of his meds. We're not a pharmacy. We can give the resident whatever medicines that we have on hand to the resident at the time of discharge, but we're not to reorder them so that he has an adequate supply when he gets home. Now, if it's a long weekend and they've only got 1 or 2 pills left, you can actually order from the pharmacy a small supply, because you're going to need to give them about 1 week supply to make it safe. This is Thanksgiving weekend right now. Today's the 27th. And so this is a long weekend. Anybody who we sent home yesterday or the day before would have to go at least until next week before they can see their own primary care physician to get refills on their medicines. So you may want to see that they have at least a week's supply of medicines before they go home. But again, don't reorder all of their medicines 1 or 2 days before they're leaving. Try to be aware of that, please. Another thing I wanted to say is get ready. We are going to be having COVID-19 vaccinations here at our building. The California Department of Public Health and the Center for Disease Control, CDC, has made it so that nursing homes, other assisted living, facilities that have a lot of older people in them are going to be first to get the vaccine. That's for employees and residents. So that actually is coming up here in a couple of weeks. We're going to have a vaccine clinic here where a company, Walgreens, is actually going to be coming in to give our vaccines to us. So more will come on that. As soon as there's a vaccine that's approved, we'll get a better idea of when that's going to occur. So look for that. It's coming up soon. The information that I got is that the vaccine will probably be in 2 doses. So you get 1 shot and you're going to have to get another 3 to 4 weeks after you got the first one. So I encourage everybody to take a COVID-19 shot. Please, our residents are going to take them. You should take them too, and they're going to be in 2 doses. There was something else I wanted to say. By the way, please, if you come into work and you think there may have been a mistake on the assignments, please don't be the one that changes the assignment without checking with that other nurse first. It's just a common courtesy. Now, I want to go over a couple of things that were in my last meeting that I did in person with most of you, and that was change of condition. I just want to remind you guys that, hey, whenever you get a new medicine or a new rash or any new change of condition, 3 things have to take place. MD notification, RP notification, and a care plan. These three things have to be done each time. You know, our building got in deep doo-doo, big trouble with the CDPH when they came in, did our standard survey in March, I think it was. They found that our nurse notes would never indicate that we ever called the responsible party and told them about the new medicine that was started or the new rash or whatever it may have been. So you have to write a nurse note that says MD, RP, notification, care plan updated. Now there is a spot on the telephone order, and I've shown most of you, where you can actually sign your name that says that you notified the RP. You put the date and the name of the person that you notified. If it's self, you check that box, self, and that would be adequate for our documentation. So please, I can continue to find in chart audits that we are not notifying the MDRP. I get these chart audits daily. Another thing I just wanted to remind people, narcotic accountability. So there needs to be 2 signatures on every entry on your narcotic inventory sheet. So that means when you're adding medicines in, 2 signatures. When you've finished and depleted a card and you've used them all up, 2 signatures. When you're moving a resident between hallways, you're moving somebody from bungalow to cottage, 2 signatures in your book and 2 signatures in their book. And then whenever the medicine is expired or the patient had a medicine change and you have to give it to me, 2 signatures in your book, and I have a book here that has 2 signatures required. So that means that there will be 2 signatures on every time a narcotic is moved throughout the building. Also want to just remind people to answer the phone. Please answer the phone. Sometimes it's hard. I know when you're on bungalow and you're down the hallway, you can't even hear the phone ringing. And I know what you're going to say. Kevin, can we get a cordless phone? We're working on that. It may not be right now or today or in the next week. But in the meantime, until I can figure out how we're going to get a cordless phone tied into our phone lines, I need you guys to answer the phone. Weekends and holidays and after hours are the worst. Sometimes the phone will ring off the hook and nobody will ever answer it. COVID-19 update. I just want to remind you guys that please, the state of California is recommending that you quarantine for 14 days if you leave our state. So please don't leave our state. Don't go to, actually it just recommends that you not leave our state. If you do, they're recommending that you go on a 14-day quarantine. Also, when you go out in the community, please wear a mask. Masks are required in most stores. Like when you go to Walmart or a grocery store, they're requiring you wear a mask. Please wear a mask, and please socially distance yourself. There's so much COVID-19 in the community that I'm just worried that it's going to come into our building. Reminder that you got to test every week, or I have to take you off the schedule. So if you don't test every week here, you can't work. So I have a list of all the employees, and Trish does, that's really all she does for like 2 days every week is test people. We're going to start using the point of care machine a little bit more frequently, but anyways, just a reminder, you got to test every week, avoid community gatherings, don't have a large group of people over at your house, and don't go out of state. You might have to quarantine for 14 days. We have some new nurses, and I just want to remind nurses that when we get a new admission, they're supposed to have a flu shot. So you need to look in the history. It actually says in the Oroville Hospital discharge form when they have had their flu and pneumo shot. So if they haven't had a flu or pneumo shot, we need to give them one. And so we need to have that consent signed and administered when they get here. Also, the TB skin test. There is a measure that our nursing home is measured by the state on how well we do with immunizations, and we have to report that information to the state of California. So it looks very bad here in the middle of a COVID-19 pandemic that we can't even immunize our people for a flu shot when they get here. So please do that. What else? No more bonuses really for signing up for shifts. If you if you are asked to pick up a shift, we got a pay raise. I don't know, you guys know that or not. We got a pay raise, and we got some shift differential. So that was meant to take place of this $100 that we were throwing around like crazy there for a little while. So that's not meant to make it easier for our staffer to get people to fill shifts. That's meant for an emergency, a desperation need. We have nobody to work a shift and we've got nobody to cover a cart. And in desperation, we may be able to, if a $100 bonus will get somebody to agree to it, then at that time and that time only, we can give a bonus out. So it's not to be offered for, hey, we have all these open shifts for the next month. We're not going to give $100 for each one of those that you pick up. So anyways, just be aware that we've got some ants that are coming in the building. And that's it. If you guys have any questions, you can also put them in the comment section down below. Otherwise, I hope you have a safe and sane Thanksgiving. Bye.